Okay, so this is Danielle and Gina from Not Your Pinterest Mom. And why are we not your Pinterest mom?
Um, well, we are both a bit of a mess.
Hot
And
mess?
yeah, and in our own ways. We're like organized in some ways and then train wrecks in other ways.
Well, I can organize anybody else. Anybody else. I am like fantastic at organizing anybody else. So she.
Yeah, I can organize anybody else and I can organize myself, which is but my hot messness is well, I'm clumsy as hell for starters, and
Me too.
then I think it's what it has to do with my attitude a little bit that makes me a bit of a mess. And then I absolutely am a disaster in the kitchen. I can't do it. Like this week, I just said screw it with our meal plan and ordered some frozen pre-cooked grilled chicken strips and told Rusty to just deal with whatever sides are in the house. I'm not doing it. And he said okay.
So as the cooking side of the team,
I know, and I just feed my kid whatever's on his plate. I don't even try and like make him whatever anymore. I'm not even trying. I'm just like here.
well, when
Um,
she has a 10-month-old, Jake is so stinking cute.
with the larger than life personality.
Oh
He's so
yeah.
small.
Now I'm the older mom around here. For those that haven't watched our previous videos, so I have a 23-year-old,
How many months old is he?
276 months old. And I was doing my bio for Not Your Pinterest Mom, and I actually sat down and figured out how many months old he is. That took me forever because I'm not good with math.
Makes me cackle every time I read it
Everybody cackles at that.
because it's hilarious. Because people are like, my kid, their kid's like 3, and they're like, my kid's 17 when you're old, or they're 2. My kid's 25 months old. No, they're 2.
They're two.
They're 2.
Once I hit single numbers are easier for me. But
Yeah.
please don't do that to my brain. But I thought that was pretty funny when I put it in my bio.
I hope so.
But I'm the cooking side. I love to cook. I'm a huge fan of batch cooking and batch planning, and grocery shopping and stuff like that. And I've only got a couple videos up right now, and it is February of 2021 for anybody watching this video.
Yeah.
And one of the videos, I actually started getting personal messages from where I had posted on my own Facebook feed this week. And so many women don't understand how less frustrating it will be if you plan your meals out and like cook for yourself than having to do what she did.
Yeah, because usually I do a weekly meal plan because it helps our family from eating out. There's so many benefits to it. It keeps you on budget. It keeps you from just walking around the grocery store aimlessly and buying stuff that you don't need. It keeps your food waste down tremendously, especially if you do what Danielle teaches, which is double your batch, where you eat a batch and freeze a batch. Then you eventually are working out of your freezer, which is what Danielle teaches you how to do. However, while I knew to do that, have been taught to do that.
And this is why we're not your Pinterest moms.
Yeah, have been taught to do that. It don't happen. And that's okay. But the kitcheny stuff, ask her. Like just I'm gonna tell you to buy convenience.
And I actually
microwave a vegetable, you're good to go.
I'm a huge fan of frozen vegetables. So that is one of my major convenience things, is those steam in a bag things. But you can buy them for 99 cents. So they're not an expensive thing. So I actually had a woman reach out to me this week and she has a $20 a week budget. And there are only 2 options for stores, are Dollar General and a Walmart. So I am gonna actually go out this week one day. I've reached out to Dollar General and asked if I could film in the store, because you do have to ask before doing that. Those of you filming your Instagram stories in stores, is actually illegal, just so you know.
Oh, I wish I could go with you. That would be hilarious. Taking my bumpkin. So here's the other thing: is we're in Alabama. I am a native to the area.
I'm from New York,
and
not New York City, New York.
Yeah, and we have. She texts me constantly because I have to clarify some things. It's annoying because there are really good, very intelligent, like we're very kind people, we're very hospitable people, but Extremely. The folks that you see on that they always are putting on the news, they do exist, and they happen to frequent the Dollar Generals, the Walmarts, the Dollar Trees, all the places where you can find good stuff and not spend a lot of money. The thrift stores.
Yeah, I have to call for translation. I'm constantly texting Gina, please translate this. So I came across a TikTok video that Gina's going to have to translate for me later because I do not understand it at all. But I'm very much a planner when it comes to meals and stuff like that. And I'm also an overstocker. So my husband's having to add shelves to my pantry. Like he's out.
Is that what he's out there doing right now?
That's what he's doing right now because I have way too much food in my pantry and I don't need to. So I actually am gonna next month in March, I'm gonna do shop my pantry and only cook what's in my pantry and from what's in my pantry and my freezer, which is, I'm going to admit, extremely extensive, but I'm gonna show you how to use some really basic ingredients to make full meals.
That would be great because, again, for those of us that just could potentially probably be good in the kitchen but just don't want to and are lazy, that'll be nice.
I am actually a really, really lazy cook. I come from a family of chefs and restaurant owners. So I grew up in the restaurant business. I can make some really amazing meals, but I'm freaking lazy. And why bother when your 20-something child and your 40-something husband just inhale food? They don't actually care what I make. It doesn't have to taste good, honestly, because they will also eat ramen noodles and hot dogs. So they don't care what I make.
Rusty will come home with pork skins of all the things. I'm sorry, Southerners. I'm sorry. It's so gross. And then it makes me gag. So nasty because he puts Tabasco in it. It's so gross.
Okay, that's gross.
Yeah, and then he'll put peanuts in his Coke. I mean, he does some weird stuff.
I've heard the peanuts and Coke thing before.
He says it's a sweet and salty thing. I mean, and I just don't.
Yeah, I've heard this. I'm learning.
I blame it on because he's originally from Louisiana and lived in Texas for a little while and then made his way over here. So that's what I'm blaming.
He's very south.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's what I blame. But it's just gross.
So around here, you're going to hear a lot of talk about living in the South because I'm learning. She's been here forever and she's never left.
No.
So I am the more well-traveled of the two. I've pretty much been to almost every state. And I also spent a year in Africa.
I've been places. It's just I've never lived anywhere but in the South. Like I lived in Alabama my entire life. Did a 3 years. I call it 3 year stint in the Atlanta area,
which is Georgia.
Yeah,
and that's not like I've been to Georgia. It's really not a whole lot different than here. So she really didn't leave us out.
No, and then I came back home, and but we moved right back to our hometown because family was close, and family is important. And I wanted my son to know his family that, and I just prefer the quiet. It's calmer. Atlanta. That was too many people, man.
Too much for Gina.
It was too much. And actually, when I lived in Atlanta, right when I was getting ready to move back from Alabama, was right around when Danielle and I met.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was getting ready to leave Atlanta, and we had just met and made friends, and I was trying to escape. There's way too many people. You couldn't go anywhere.
And I am totally not afraid to hop in the car and just go anywhere. I love to go and I love to be around people. So extreme extrovert, extreme not, and extreme introvert. Like we're both opposite sides of the spectrum.
I also don't like to be in the car for extended periods of time. I get squirmy.
Oh, I'm squirmy. That's ADHD. Squirmy. I'm about to drive 17 hours to go back to New York to visit family.
I'm so excited.
And for 3 weeks. So I love car trips. I love car trips. So you'll hear a lot from us, and maybe I'll do some videos and stuff from the car while we're traveling, and even talk about some budget traveling because I travel very differently than most people, and I have to. I have some really severe food allergies. So you'll hear me talk about food allergies a lot. Gina has a couple. So you're going to hear a lot of that. But Gina is the queen of budgeting, and I am the queen of I have no clue where a dime is ever. So anything that I can do, I do. I'm great at. I am the best at, and I'll have anybody argue with me ever. I have no lack of confidence. And then we have Gina, who don't ask me to do any of the things that Gina does because her planning skills for watching this video or because we've been friends since I lived in New York and she lived in Alabama, we're still getting used to this new being able to get together
get
and
to
do things.
sit with each other. And Danielle, like, there's a video that we have in the archive that will probably never go up, and it's a shame because she came over. Jake was right after I moved to my new house. Jake has some health issues, and nobody was getting any sleep. And we're still not. It's vastly improved. And Danielle was coming over to try and teach me how to batch cook and start filling my freezer. So Danielle's over just talking and doing whatever. Meanwhile, you can see me over off in the corner trying to help and hosing it. And then we set off a fire alarm. I don't even know how that happened. And Danielle is still just over there just doing whatever, cooking, do whatever. There's me. I'm running back and forth, yelling. And then you just see my husband grumpily walk over and snatch the thing out of the ceiling and walk out of the frame.
Yeah, he didn't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
The sound quality, unfortunately, because of the chaos in the house and the baby crying and screaming.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We can't put the video up.
No, we can't. But it's
maybe
really
someday I'll redo the voiceover because that might be even more hilarious.
It probably would be if we commentated on it because we probably should do that because it was really funny.
So that's what you're gonna get when you come to Not Your Pinterest Mom, is a lot of craziness, but a lot of really helpful tips to be a mom, a wife.
We're humans, and we don't want to hide. We don't want to hide real life. Like, so there is this girl that I have discovered on YouTube, and I'm in love with her. And now she's a Southern girl, and she lives in a 1984 single wide. And her name of her channel is It's All Messy, and I highly encourage you guys to go check Lacey out. She's freaking hysterical. And I was you'll also hear me refer to my husband as permanent roommate. There's a story to that. And I was telling him that I much would rather watch her videos than like
any of the
influencer YouTube influencer moms, because they have these big, huge, perfectly decorated houses, and it's because the decor is a business write-off. Mm-hmm. So they're going out buying new decor and all the seasonal stuff, and everything's picture Pinterest perfect all the time, and they're trying to give you inspo and motivation. And by the way, that must be exhausting to keep up.
But I can't imagine doing that.
I can't imagine doing that either. But this girl, I can't figure it out, but her house always looks like a bomb went off on it. And I feel for her, and she's cleaning it up, and it's completely and utterly just real life. I mean, there's tools everywhere. And that's how we are. We don't know how to be anything other than ourselves.
And not trying to be anything other than myself. I don't want to look like somebody else. I don't want to be somebody else. I love who I am and what I do. And in my house will be more decorated than Gina's, but I also don't have a toddler, so it's safe to decorate at my house.
I just recently put up a gallery wall on this long wall in like that big long entrance hall that was empty. I put a gallery wall up, and I'm starting to rethink the lower picture placements.
Again, I don't have a toddler, so I can decorate, but in my house, we're all musicians, all three of us, and we have an excess of guitars. So guitars are decorations, and those of you that know me and have seen my office, I have a very expensive purple guitar on the wall here. And so I have very expensive decorations in my house, but let me tell you, they would be in my house whether they were decorations or not, so they might as well be decorations.
Yeah.
So yeah, musicians, crazy, dirty, some days nuts. There are stacks of boxes we still haven't unpacked around here all the way. There are boxes, and I still keep ordering stuff, and my husband told me I have to stop ordering things in cardboard, which not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And there's 4 more boxes coming this week. And closet, don't open a closet because you might get hit with something.
Yeah. And at my house, I've got becoming a toddler. My husband works in construction, and then he's also he did powerlifting in college, and he did bodybuilding right out of college, and is still very much so into the gym and all of that. And for some strange reason, my hallway, right where everybody's got to walk, is where his stuff lives.
I've been known to have car parts in my house, and
me too. Because he's also into Jeep parts. And I did tell you about the time that I rolled his all of his stuff in the parking spot in the condo that we lived in Georgia, right? Because I got mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked inside and there was Jeep bumpers and a spare tire in my dining room area, and I tripped over it one too many times and had a tiny temper tantrum. I'm not a very big person, and rolled all that stuff right outside and put it right where he had to park. So he had to do something with it before he could park. I know the neighbors
think you're insane.
I don't know. I just know the neighbors wouldn't talk to us.
We haven't talked to our neighbors yet. We don't really know them yet. So they may never like us after they hear a band practice here.
Yeah, well, our neighbors won't talk to us because Rusty's always outside blaring Five Finger Death Punch and whatnot, and he has that face. So, nobody will talk to us.
Oh, got it. Okay. So we'll be in the same boat.
Yeah. Nobody will talk to us.
So come join us on this crazy journey of Not Your Pinterest Mom. We will be talking about everything, anything, whatever entertains Gina and I that day. So just a little bit of background on each of us. So I own my own business. And if you go to our website, you will notice all of these names in the menu. There's Not Your Pinterest Moms, obviously. There's Be Boss Girl, which I own a digital marketing agency. And then I have the Rockstar CEO. And Be Boss Girl and the Rockstar CEO really go together. But I teach women how to build and start successful, strong businesses, because as we all know, businesses fail. Like 75% of businesses fail the first year, and then another 50% in the first 3 years, and another 75% in the first 5. Yeah. So I teach people to do that, and I've been doing this. Okay, I won't.
A long time,
more than 20 years. So I've been doing that, and Not Your Pinterest Mom has been a passion that I wanted to do for a long time, and I can't wait to get to focus on things that aren't. They're all business stuff. I mean, yes, we're trying to build a business, but I get to do the things I love to do.
Yeah, you get tired of talking about, because
I get sick of talking about Instagram and Pinterest.
Well, and like me, I get tired of talking about processes, procedures, and operations. So how Danielle and I met is I owned a operations.
She's
style.
an OBM, which is an online business manager.
I'm a certified OBM, and I had an agency around that. It was called the Business Architect, and that's how we met. And I chose to exit the online small business entrepreneur world for stability, because I was pregnant with my son and I wanted the financial stability. So I put that on the back burner, and I do that work on the side sometimes with Danielle. And Not Your Pinterest Mom has been a passion project of mine since 2012. I keep trying to do and kept getting sucked into the online business manager role, and I just did not want to do that anymore. So I work as a corporate project manager in the government sector is the best way that I know how to describe it. It's still tech, but we take government contracts. It's weird. Anyway, and that's what my day job is. And then I do this with Danielle at night, and I no longer freelance or do anything like that. I wanted to have the passion project, because as we saw in a clubhouse we tried to do the other night,
it all comes back
to the boss girl world, and it's just not something.
And I'm finding the more and more conversations I have with boss girls, their biggest frustrations are their things that they can't do in their home because they're a boss girl. So,
and that was where we wanted to come in and help bring in that work-life balance, because you can do it.
It is absolutely possible. I have a very, very happy marriage. I've been married 27 years, and I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I have a very happy marriage, even though sometimes I want to smother.
Not killing your husband that's another conversation.
That's a whole other conversation on how to not kill a husband. But and I did this for several years, and also I am extremely organized and very particular. I run my house like I would run a project. And my poor husband is a spender. And that's a conversation that we'll have for another day. I'm a nerd, and my husband is a spender. So, and we are still very happy.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to have a happy life and own a business.
Spreadsheet today.
Oh my word. Okay, that's another conversation for another time. So I hope you join us for all of the craziness that's Not Your Pinterest Mom, because we're not trying to be Pinterest moms around here.
We're not.
Once in a while, I'll do a Pinterest mom thing, but
I'll attempt it, and it's usually only just because it's quarantine. We're not really quarantined anymore because we're in Alabama. We don't have to, but I mean, there are still some restrictions, and I got to find a way to entertain my kid.
Yeah.
So that's probably about the only Pinteresty thing you're going to see me do. And
you'll see me do more Pinteresty things, because I love crafting and I love doing some of those things.
No, I don't craft. I just go buy it.
So come join us on this crazy journey, and we hope that you enjoy what we're doing for you. Yes, we're going to have some paid things, some courses and some workbooks and worksheets and checklists and labels and all kinds of things that we'll have for sale. But our main focus is going to be all this free content that we give you guys, and we can't wait to create more.
Yeah.
Bye.